Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Isaac.
And this is your boy Bryce.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. And guess what, y'all? This is the midweek of Wimbledon. We are at the midpoint and we are coming at you, wanting to do some reviews, talk about how poorly we estimated who was going to win.
How poorly you estimated who was going to win. I'm feeling pretty good about my predictions right about now.
Yeah, I reached out there a little too far, y'all. I went out there a little too far. But you know what? It's all good regardless because that is sport. It is unpredictable. Things get crazy. But you know what? We enjoy it and we go along for the ride. So we are going to just do a little bit of a midweek review, talk about the matches we saw, go into some things that we see happening as it relates to the tournament ending. And we're going to talk about other special things that are going on the Wimbledon grounds. Bryce, what stood out to you just at a high level thus far at Wimbledon, the championships?
Well, I have really enjoyed a lot of the matches that occurred in the first week. Of course, the grounds are all abuzz about Coco Gauff.
Coco, right? Yes.
And we're definitely going to talk about her a little more later, but I'm really surprised. She's in the fourth round.
Okay.
I knew she had a chance to beat Venus, but I probably would not have put her all the way in the fourth round.
And see, you did better than me because I didn't think she was going to beat Venus at all. I thought Venus was going to be like, you know what, youngster, you were not ready for this, and I'm putting things on you. When in fact, Coco was like, yeah, older sister. Unfortunately, I need to make this my breakout, and that is what she's doing. But of course, like I said, we're gonna get on to the Coco bandwagon and all the fun stories later. But yeah, man, let's talk about some of this stuff.
Okay, so I know we typically start with the ladies' draw, but since there's so much juice in the ladies' draw, let's take a look at the men's draw and what were some of the developments in the first week. And one of the things that I want to call out is that we often talk about the next gen, right? Next group of players that are coming up and are going to supplant eventually Roger Federer and Djokovic and Nadal.
Right.
I think one of the themes for this first week was some of these next gen people we've been talking about, they ain't ready.
Yeah, they're just not ready. They got scared. They got scared. They got scared and got spanked up on, and a couple of them really, really surprised me.
Right, and this is one of the things I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, is it's very easy, even with the Coco Gauff situation, it's very easy for the media and people at large to get so excited and hyped up after a win or two. Right. But the truest of all indicators of a champion is their longevity and their consistency, right? Yeah. There's a whole bunch of players that can come out and do it, a couple of times a year, right? But who is that person that's really doing it all year long? And that's one of the things that I just kind of caution people. With these young players, they're early in their career and they're going to be ups and downs, right? Yeah. So although Coco Gauff is doing great in this tournament, if she loses in the first round of the next tournament, you can't be disappointed in her. She's 15 years old. She's not expected at this point to have that level of consistency. But that's the one thing I fear when I see the media and people at large just get so behind. You saw how they got behind Opelka.
Right.
After the Wawrinka match. And I was telling someone, they were like, oh, this Opelka, he's out, he's new, he's great, whatever. And it's like, we've known about Opelka for quite a while. Part of the problem is, and this was even before he lost the very next round,
right?
I stated, he has these great wins, but then he hasn't been able to back him up. And I said, and we saw that once again. So just to everyone, with the new people,
I think you might need to remind John McEnroe of that because he got up on Opelka in that next match. He was just, I think John expected a little bit more from him, and he was just like, what is this? This is bad effort. And I don't think he said bad effort, but he was just kind of on his back, and I agree with you. I mean, Opelka's what, like 21 maybe?
Right.
So 22 at the oldest. So, you got to give these kids enough time to develop and get right. And it's going to take some time for them to be able to build that consistency. So
right.
I agree with you 100%, Bryce.
But that being said,
Yeah.
let's talk about some of the people we expected to get it done that couldn't even get it done in the first round.
Yes, sir.
So let's start with one of your predictions to go far in this tournament.
Son of a bitch. I knew you was going to go there.
Just because he's the first name I'm seeing coming down the draw, okay? Grigor Dimitrov. You want to talk about him?
No, I do not. Because that son of a bitch, he let me down. I don't even know who Motet is. I don't even know. I ain't seen the boy name. I ain't never seen him. So I'm like, Grigor is definitely going to win this match. I had him going through, I think, making it to at least the fourth round. And he just let me down. I didn't even get to see the match. All I know is I saw the score, and I was like, what in the hell is going on around here?
And what was disappointing was the fact that he won the first two sets.
Exactly. It's like, Grigor, what? I don't know. I think, honestly, it boils down to confidence because I don't think he's injured or anything. I just think mentally he is not in a good space. I mean, he's got a new coach now, and I don't know. I still think that Nicole Scherzinger thing is... I think she done put it on him some kind of right, and his mind done got lost someplace. But yeah, he sure did get lost in that first round match, and that's why he's saying bye-bye to Wimbledon. Right. Hardcore, here I come.
Oh, so anyway, he got popped out in the first round.
Yes, sir.
Now, Gael Monfils didn't make it out of the first round, but he pulled out. He retired in this match.
I didn't get a chance to find out what that was all about. I was just so very disappointed that he had to retire, pull out of that match. That was very disappointing. But with Gael, he's exciting, but with all of that excitement comes a lot of injuries, man. He just at times just can't keep that body 100%, and that's what's really been difficult about him getting big results over his career. Right. Is that there's always some type of injury that he's dealing with, but he's still my boy. Still love me some Gael. Still going to support him and root for him anytime I see him. But that was a little bit disappointing. But at the same time, go Humbert for right. being like, all right, I'm gonna take this opportunity to do some things, and quietly,
yeah.
He told Felix Auger-Aliassime, he was like, bitch, get out the way. Everybody's scared of you. Apparently, now, Bryce, get this. They apparently played in the juniors. Yes. Yeah. Right. You heard about that story?
I did, yeah.
So he was kind of like, Felix, like you like Tsitsipas' game. Bitch, I like your game. He was like, am I scared of you? I'm about to get up on this. Right. And made his way to the fourth round.
He did.
Dude. Can't be mad at that, right?
No. Now, he's going to be singing Boys to Men here in a second because
yes, sir.
Djokovic is going to be like, who?
Who? Right? People were like, no, son.
Right.
You ain't ready for this. I'm number one.
So, let's talk about some more first-round failures.
Yes.
So, now, we shouldn't have been surprised with Tsitsipas.
No, we shouldn't have been surprised.
He really didn't show up during the lead-up tournaments. And I may have mentioned this in the last episode, I'm not sure or not, but he was playing Fabiano in the first round. And Fabiano just came off of making it to the finals of one of the warm-up tournaments for Wimbledon. So I knew that was going to be a tough out for him, and yeah, he couldn't get the out.
Yeah, and I think with Tsitsipas, and I agree with you, I think with Tsitsipas, he's so good on clay. I think it's a hard transition, even though he's got his game has all that variety. He's got that one-hander. He can do the slicing, all the right components for grass, in my opinion. But you've got to be able to put those things together. And I don't know that he's quite at that point yet where he's going to really be able to excel on grass just yet. I feel like he will get some great results in his career. It just takes a little bit more time to make that transition from clay to grass. And I just didn't think that he'd be able to make that happen. Right. So unfortunately, Fabiano was like, yeah, son, you ain't ready for this.
Right. And you know what? And this just goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of the episode. Mm-hmm. Even with all the success that Tsitsipas has had up to this point, he still has a lot of room to develop, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
he's young, and I think I likened him to Osaka.
Mhm.
I think they are both players that eventually will be very good on grass.
Yes.
They just have not developed that skill set yet.
Right on, brother. Right on.
So
Well said.
now, someone else who I wasn't surprised didn't get out the
Jesus.
first round.
Oh, Jesus, people. I know where you're going on this one.
Alexander Zverev. Now, look, you guys are going to think that I feel some type of way about these people personally. I really don't. I can just only report on what I see.
Mm-hmm.
This first round loss for Zverev to Vesely, I saw this coming a mile away, right?
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been doing anything leading up to this tournament. He always cracks in the Grand Slams. I don't know how you cannot say that just being in a Grand Slam is now mental for him. And I'm looking online every day to see when Ivan Lendl has said, dude, I'm out. I'm out.
I'm out. I got to go. You know, Ivan, hang with him a little bit. I'm going to still try and be on the boy bandwagon. But let me tell you, you talk about somebody who was disappointed. Because remember, y'all, I had this fool going all the way to, I believe, the finals.
You did. And listeners may want to go back and listen to that episode where I was like, what are you doing? Just picking all the people whose names are in black and bold on the draw? Really?
I mean, come on. You bring on Ivan Lendl to your staff. I'm thinking that you got your mind right that you're going to be able to do something. And in truth, at the beginning of that match, he actually was playing some great tennis. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know what switched or switch flipped or whatever you want to call it. But Yuri Vesely was just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm playing sausage Zverev. I can win this match. And he started taking it to him. And literally, he was just like, anybody scared of you? He pulled out his jar of Vaseline and put on the boxing gloves and was like, I'm going to throw some Hail Marys at you. And it was landing them.
Yeah.
He was literally landing them, dude. And it just extremely disappointing. So you talk about somebody that needs to go and take a step back and get their mind right, because to me it's nothing physical.
It's not physical.
Absolutely not.
He has the physical tools to win, and I watched a good portion of that match.
Yeah,
and I could see it. You know when you can see somebody's face,
they got scared.
That he was scared.
He was scared. He was like, "Oh my God, what is going on?"
Right.
And you can't be scared, Sasha. You can't be scared, friend.
Ivan Lendl was never scared.
No, he was not.
And even Andy Murray, was never scared.
No, never.
Even when he should have been a few times.
Quietly. Right? Quietly. So you need to let Ivan and all of that confidence kind of pour over you and get yourself right. Because you will lose Ivan with the quickness if you continue with these L's.
Right. And speaking of L's, let's continue to your next prediction that you had. Which was the first round matchup between Dominic Thiem and Sam Querrey. And Isaac, I just want you to remind the listeners, how far did you have Dominic Thiem going in this draw?
Oh my God, I hate you right
Because you were wrong if it was anything past the first round. But just, where did you have him going?
I literally had him getting to the quarters because I thought that if he could get past Sam Querrey, he would be able to handle up. And I still actually believe that he would be able to handle up on the folks that Sam Querrey is beating up on. I mean, come on now. He had to play John Millman's. He would have beat up on Millman's. He'd have beat up on this. He's about to play Tennis Sangre, and I predict he's going to spank him up and send him back to America. And, I mean, it's just like, I just made one bad prediction.
And you know why he cannot beat up on those other people?
Why?
Because he's too full from eating that bagel that Sam Querrey gave him in the final set. When he got fed that bagel, he had to go sit down somewhere.
He was like, well, I'm full. Yeah, that was pretty mean. I mean, Sam, I tell you what, though, brother. Sam Querrey looked good. Sam Querrey is like, listen, I'm on grass.
Yeah.
I feel good. I ain't played in a while. I'm about to put it on y'all. And he is definitely doing that. So I absolutely think he is going to make that quarterfinal. And it will be very interesting at that point.
You're right. It will be.
Yes, sir.
Now, what was an interesting match, another first round interesting match, was Shapovalov.
Yeah.
Shapovalov, excuse me.
Yeah.
Against Barankis?
Yeah. That
I didn't foresee that.
That shouldn't happen, to be honest with you. I know Carlos Barankis, he's kind of a journeyman player. I've seen him play before. In fact, when I was volunteering at one of the UCLA tournament, I had a chance to meet him. Nice young man, very nice, very early on in his career. But got a clean game, but it shouldn't have been anything that Shapovalov shouldn't have been able to handle.
Right.
And unfortunately, again, I think with him, similar to some of the other younger guys that we've been talking about, especially like Zverev, he's got some confidence issues going on right now. Well, he's not getting the results that I would expect him to get given his game and given what he produced last year. I don't know if it's a sophomore slump.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, now I know everybody has a right to have a life, but I've just been peeping Shapovalov's social media, and when he loses, he's definitely out there living his best life in Mykonos and all these other different places. And I'm not saying he can't do that, but you hear so many times that when a player loses, like one of the top players, they hit the practice courts even harder. Right. And it seems to me when I see Shapovalov lose, I see him on some island or he's out kicking it somewhere. So he might need to get his focus right. He may be enjoying success a little bit too much right now.
Yeah. We still love you though, Dennis. Keep fighting.
We do. I really do like him. I think he's a good player. Remember when we were watching him warm up at the Australian Open with who was he hitting with?
I thought it was Sam Querrey.
It was Querrey.
Yeah, it was Sam Querrey.
Yeah.
They was batting that ball around, folks. Woo!
They were.
They was beating that ball up. It was awesome to see. Awesome.
Well, we don't have to worry about them meeting in this tournament. So
no, we do not.
Now, what I want to do is I want to call out two really important matches that happened in the second round.
Yeah.
And one of those matches was I was very surprised to see in the second round Marin Cilic go out to Sousa.
Please help me understand that one. João Sousa is a very interesting player, very consistent. He's got that weird grunt.
He does.
That grunt be killing me.
It sounds really extra.
It is very extra.
It sounds very extra.
But Bryce, like you said, not something I saw. Once again, messed up my prediction because I had Cilic going to at least the fourth round, if not quarters.
Yeah, you did.
Thanks, Bryce. I mean, I don't understand that one. It definitely confused me. I thought that Cilic was going to really get himself back on solid footing in this tournament because, mind you, he's not had a good 2019. He's been a bit shaky. There's been some matches that he should have won that he's lost, and they talked about it, So, but I thought, all right, Wimbledon. He loves the grass. He loves this tournament. He's going to get himself right, and everything will be good. For him to lose to João, that's a big loss. I think mentally that's going to mess with him. That's going to mess with him.
And it should.
Yeah, and it should because there's no way he should have lost that match. It's just you figure out a way to win those types of matches.
Right.
So that's very, very disappointing.
Right. And the other second round match that I want to highlight, which as far as I'm concerned has been the top match on the men's side of the draw, at least in terms of interest and anticipation, was Nick Kyrgios against Rafael Nadal.
Lord Jesus.
Now, I'm going to tell you what. Now, there are a lot of different perspectives and opinions on Nick Kyrgios, right?
Yes.
Some people are like, oh, he's disrespectful to the game. He's disrespectful to opponents. Some of the shots he hits are disrespectful. He doesn't take the game as seriously as he should. Look, I just want to give my thoughts on Kyrgios real quick.
Go ahead, dude.
I know the frustration because the man is immensely talented, right?
Yes,
and when you see that level of talent, you want to see it reach its fullest potential.
Yes.
Right? Now, honestly, a lot of people in this world, we have jobs. And Kyrgios is different from a lot of the other players because he looks at tennis as a job.
Right.
It affords him a certain lifestyle. It's something he does very well. But we are so conditioned to wanting every player to be number one and to break all the record books and all that. He's not interested in that.
Not at
How
all.
many people in the world have a job where they're not trying to be the CEO of the company, right?
Right.
I have my job. I like my job. Make sure my paycheck's on
Yeah,
time,
make sure
right?
my check is in. I'm trying to get them coins.
That is that's his perspective, and I think we honestly have to respect that.
We have to. Absolutely have to respect that. Because that's his choice. As a professional tennis player, he has that choice. If he is good enough to be able to make the draws, if he is good enough to be able to beat the top players when he chooses to, then you know what? That is his right. And there's nothing that anybody else can do about it. So, they did an interview with Cliff Drysdale. I thought it was so awesome because I love Cliff.
I do too.
I think
he's getting old though, but anyway.
This is true, but he is still my dude. Cliff is my dude. But I love the fact that he was just like, I get so entertained by this guy. And I am of the same opinion. I feel like he is just a great thing for the sport because he brings a lot of the attention. He brings what's sort of been missing in the past, that edge, that rivalry. Y'all can't tell me that Rafa Kyrgios lead up was not popping. You cannot tell me everybody was like, oh, I got to tune into this because there's going to be some fireworks. That is why. Because they've got that little edge. You've got that little fire right there. That is what Nick brings to tennis. And I don't see anything wrong with it. And like you just said, he is choosing to treat tennis as his job. There is nothing wrong with that. So get off his back for that. Now, I agree with you. Some of the antics, throwing the chair on the court and all that bullshit, Nick, you need to let that shit go because that to me is not right. That's childish. Go and put that to the side. But as far as how you treat this sport and how you see it, if you see it as a job, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't let nobody else tell you that there's anything wrong with that. You do you. And that's what he's doing. He comes on the court with his Nike gear on. He loves basketball. Ain't nothing wrong with any of that. So, folks, to me, treat it as it is. As he sees it, you have to allow him that. You can't expect him to be a Roger Federer if he doesn't want to be. And he basically has said, I don't want to be.
Exactly.
So get off of him.
Right. It's interesting to me with Nadal because Nadal to me has three of the most interesting relationships on the tour, right?
Yes.
So he and Federer have this love fest, right? And it's like, they're the top two in winning Grand Slam titles, and just it's the matchup everybody wants to see because it's everybody's two favorites, right?
Right. He
has this relationship with Djokovic where they've met more than anybody else, right? And it's very tight. I think they're only separated by maybe one or two wins,
matches,
right? And they've kind of gone back and forth, so that's probably like the most competitive one.
Right.
And then he has this relationship with Kyrgios, right? Where it's the very like
fire.
Yeah, that's ice and fire type thing, right?
Yes, sir.
And but it's funny, kudos to Nadal for having each one of these relationships. It's clear the one with Kyrgios is the one that irks him. Right? It gets under his skin.
Yes.
I noticed he was in an interview with Darren Cahill, and I think Chris McHenry, I believe, who I love, by the way.
Yes.
And they were trying to ask him about the Kyrgios match, and he was just acting like he was so over it. He was just like
I'm past that.
I'm just tired of talking about this. What he doesn't get is that rivalry with Kyrgios is bringing a lot of excitement to the game, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, some of these other ones, him and Djokovic is great because they've met so many times, but it's kind of boring, right? He and Roger, that's exciting because you're pulling for one or the other.
And it's the contrast.
It's the contrast, right? Yeah. But it's, they love each other and all that kind of stuff. So we're here and there at each other's houses for coffee in the morning. I like when Kyrgios came out and said, I was trying to hit the ball. I tried to hit that ball straight through his chest, right? If you at the net, be ready for something that comes at the net, right?
Ready. Exactly.
I'm sorry. I enjoy it. I got excited for it. I can't wait for them to play again.
Oh, my goodness. I'm with you, Bryce. That, to me, that matchup was fire. It was absolutely, in my opinion, what tennis needed, especially on the men's side.
Right.
You've got to have some fire sometime. And to me, Nick brings that fire.
Nick brings it.
I absolutely loved it. Did you now, I know one shot that you love, that drop shot service winner that he hit on the shot.
Love it.
Because, yes, viewers, Bryce does have that shot, and yes, he does use it in recreational play. Yes, he does. He has caught me and others completely off guard on many occasions. Yes, he has.
Shout out, Marsha. But it. So anyway, let's talk about that match. One of the things that made the match good, in addition to the little extra energy they have there, is that I think they both played really well.
They did. They did.
Especially Nadal.
Nadal definitely played well.
Yeah, Nadal stepped his game up.
He did. He brought it because there were a couple instances where Nick he had his energy right, and when he pulled out that second set, I was like, okay.
Yep.
I was like, we in for some good stuff now. But hey, and kudos to Nadal for coming through tiebreakers. He had not won a single tiebreaker against Nick in their former meetings. So for him to be able to pull out those last two and pull out the match, Nadal was on. Nadal knew what was up. He was like, you know what? This is one of those statement matches.
Yep.
And I need to make this statement because I can't go out like that. I can't go out like that. So kudos to him for not only handling up on Nick, but then in the next round, he was like, hey, Joe Wilfred. He's like, you may give Roger some issues, but bitch, you ain't gonna give me no issue.
Well, and and that brings me to my Sheila E. segment, right? Which is the people that got beat like a drum, right? And that's the first one, right? Rafael Nadal. Listeners, remember, Tsonga is one of my personal favorites. I hope to meet him one day.
Yes.
But he did not show up for that match.
Yes.
He, what was it? 6-2, 6-3, 6-2? Yes. I could damn near go get beat by Nadal. That score. Somebody else.
Yeah.
Who didn't show up. And we talked about him already. Opelka against Rihanna. After that excellent win, this is my problem with him. He has some good wins, and then he can never seem to back it up.
Well, and that's why McEnroe was on his back, because it just seemed like once he lost that first set to Raonic, he just lost all his confidence. And, I mean, there is no reason that someone like an Opelka should just get, spanked up 6-2, 6-3 in the second. I mean, 6-2, 6-1, excuse me. So get a whole biscuit and a breadstick. No. With as big as he is, with that serve that he got, do not, there is no fathomable reason for you getting a whole biscuit and a breadstick. Right. Your serve is big enough that you should at least be able to pull 3 games.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Right. I totally agree.
And that's why I feel like John McEnroe was on Opelka's back, because he was like, no, that's unacceptable to go out like that. Right. And it was because, again, mentally when he lost that tiebreaker, and mind you, he did lose that tiebreaker 7-1. So that is a bit demoralizing. But still, you get back on the saddle and you keep fighting. And at that point, he just lost it.
Right.
Sad.
But who just stole the Sheila E. segment was our boy, Bernard Tomic.
Good Lord.
He didn't show up so bad that Wimbledon said, we're not going to even pay you for this.
It's like, bitch, we are not giving you no coins. You do not get our coins for that effort. No.
He did not secure the bag.
It's a bitch, no.
He did not secure the bag. That's a shame.
That's bad. When they like, you know what, you didn't put up enough effort, so we about to take our coins back.
Right. So
Jesus, that's funny.
But, even with those crazy results, Isaac, we still have the main folks in, right? We do. We have Djokovic.
Yes, sir.
We have Nadal. We have Federer.
Yes.
And I can't remember what commentator said it, but the chances of the winner of Wimbledon just not being one of those three is just so unlikely. I mean, of the people that are left, I honestly can't, without laughing, name another one of them that would get through two of them.
Right.
I don't see it.
I have to agree with you, Bryce. It would be tough for me to see them getting through. Like you said, it would take a humongous effort, and I just don't know that I see that out of any of the remaining people. Potentially Raonic, only because he has made it to the final before at Wimbledon, so you never can underestimate that big old serve and forehand of his. But,
I just don't see him getting past Djokovic.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just think to me you got to write Djokovic into the final right there. So Bryce? Do you want to go ahead and just maybe do the predictions? I mean, we're on the men's side. Let's go ahead and just wrap up the men's side, and then we'll jump over to the women's side. So,
how do you want to do this? Do you want to run through the quarters again?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just kind of talk about who we see making it through the quarters, and then semis, and then we can talk about who we see in the finals matchup.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, starting at the top of the draw, I predict that the quarterfinals will be Djokovic versus Goffin.
Okay. Yep.
Then Raonic versus Bautista Agut.
Gotcha. And honestly, I can't disagree because those were my predictions as well.
All right.
I don't know that I see anybody coming through your selections. Pair is always someone just very interesting to me. But I think with Bautista Agut's flat strokes, I think he's going to be able to pull that one out. So,
and I think he's too consistent.
Yeah.
For Pair, right?
I agree. I'm 100%. All right. How about that other side?
So on the bottom half, I have Querrey versus Nadal, and I have Kukushkin versus Federer.
Ooh, you think Kukushkin gonna pull that upset, huh?
I do, because I think he has much more of a grass court game than Nishikori does. And the only reason I think Nishikori made it this far is because in the third round, he got to play battle of the backhands, and he got his Powerball picked and got put against Steve Johnson, who has and you talking about, he got that nice slice backhand on the grass.
He does and gets the most, but Nishikori's backhand is world class. So that slice that Stevie put up, Nishikori.
I know Nishikori didn't get no sleep tonight.
Nishikori was like,
he was like, I am gonna eat your backhand up. So anyway, but I think Kukushkin will pull the upset there, and he will meet Federer in the quarters.
Gotcha. See, I selected the Querrey Nadal, and I actually do have Nishikori meeting Federer. Kukushkin, nice run, but I think that Nishikori has got a little bit extra for him. I see him coming through. Now, honestly, of all of those matchups, the one that I see being the toughest is Roger versus Berrettini. Berrettini ain't no joke.
He is, right?
And right now, I don't know that they've met. And that scares me. That really, really, really scares me. Because Berrettini might come out there with that Vaseline and with them gloves on and throw some Hail Marys on Roger and might surprise him. So I'm hoping that that's not going to be a crazy, weird upset. I am, of course, picking Roger. I'm not going to be stupid like I've done before.
Yeah.
But I do see that being a very, very tough match for Roger Federer to get through, because Berrettini's running on some mad confidence right now.
He is. Now, I wonder if there'll be any kind of, if they haven't played before, like, okay, I'm playing Roger Federer on center court at Wimbledon.
Right.
I just don't know if any of that will seep in.
I think it will early on, but I think he will end up finding his game, and I just see him making a rough time of it for Roger to close him out. Because, mind you, that's what happened with Schwartzman on the last round, because I believe Schwartzman had him pretty much dead to rights. I think he had him maybe up a break in the third or something like that. And then Berrettini was like, "Nah, little man, I ain't done, bitch, no." And so when you can scrap back on Schwartzman, that shows a level of confidence that is really extra. So I just, like I said, I do predict Roger will win, but it's going to be a very, very tough match.
Right. There is a huge difference, though, with Federer and Schwartzman, of course.
Yes.
I want to see. I want to see how Berrettini is against somebody who's attacking the net, Federer is. Right. I think against another baseliner, he has a little more of an advantage.
Right.
But Roger coming in with that slice backhand that keeps low on the grass. He is. I just want to see how he's going to do against that. That's going to be interesting.
I'm with you, my man. I'm with you.
So if we then take this out to the semis and the finals, I have in the top semis, Djokovic meeting Raonic.
Okay.
And in the bottom semis, I have Nadal meeting Federer.
Yep, same here. That's who I've picked. That's who I have picked.
And then I have Djokovic and Federer in the final.
Yes.
And I have Federer winning.
that's where I struggle.
Judas.
I do feel like Roger will get past Nadal.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something nowadays about that Roger Djokovic matchup that I just don't like. I don't like it, and I just feel like he's kind of in his head. And honestly, as much as I wouldn't want to, I feel as though Djokovic will win over Roger. So that's my pick.
I am hoping, Judas, that Roger is able to pull it out because I think he's got a much better shot of beating Djokovic at Wimbledon than the U.S. Open.
Fair point. That is.
And I'm hoping that's in his mind, and I hope he's like, let me go ahead and secure this bag here before getting over to the U.S. Open, where I may not have as easy of an opportunity.
Well, quietly, let me just say this, and Federer is going to have all that he can handle getting to the semis and battling Nadal. Nadal after that whole Kyrgios thing. I think Nadal has a level of anger inside of him just because of all that drama, which he doesn't like. Because Nadal is very soft-spoken, very quiet. So the fact that he had to deal with all that drama and that annoyance, I think that has put him really on top of his game. I am nervous for Federer, even in that semifinal. Because I feel like Nadal might get out there and be like, I'm going to swing for the fences, bitch. Ain't scared of you right now. And, and again, we can't remember, just a month ago, he did play Federer, and he jolly-whopped him pretty good.
On clay.
On clay, as he should.
Right.
But I just feel like Nadal, he's got an edge to him right now because of that whole Kyrgios thing. I think he's going to come out swinging. So I just know we're going to be in for some good matches.
What I am hoping is that prior to the French Open, Federer had beaten Nadal 5 straight times.
Yes.
And so, and Federer is obvious, can compartmentalize that loss at the French Open and say, okay, Nadal is the greatest player ever on clay. There's no shame in losing in the semifinals of the French Open to him.
Right.
I think he will feel very different at Wimbledon. And the thing that I think a lot of us are excited about is this will be the first time that Federer will have played Nadal at Wimbledon since he's got the new backhand.
Very true.
And
very true.
So anyway, I don't disagree with you. I think it's going to be a great match. I do think Nadal is playing with a different level of aggression than he's played with in the past. But popcorn. That's
popcorn.
Popcorn match.
You can say popcorn.
So I need to drink some of this Gatorade right here. You want to take us through the women?
Yes. Then we'll go ahead and start off with women because there's a whole bunch of juice on the women's side. I mean, just a lot of very, very interesting things and developments. And, with all of that being said, though, if you compare it to like the French and some of the other Grand Slams, it's actually been a little bit more stable, if you want to say. I mean, of course we've got the Gauff story, and we will definitely talk about that more. But overall, a lot of the people that we kind of assumed would make their seeding have kind of done so, sort of. So we'll go ahead and start at the top, right? So we've got, Barty's quarter, and, she's done what she needed to do and has made it into, the 4th round. Is there anything up there that you saw as being a surprise to you?
Yes. I was very surprised to see Garbine Muguruza, who is a previous champion of Wimbledon. Yes. She beat one of our queens, Venus Williams, in the final.
Yes, she did.
Gave her a bagel in
that
last set, which I wasn't, real happy about. But I know she wasn't real happy about going out in the first round.
Yeah, Haddad Maya was like, you know what? I don't think you're quite ready for this.
And she was a qualifier and took her out 4-4.
Yeah, the qualifiers were doing some things. To me, they must have felt really good about their game coming from qualies.
Right.
Boy, oh boy, they showed out a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So I definitely was surprised by that one. I was also surprised that Donna Vekic lost.
Yes.
I mean, we had just talked about her in a previous episode about she had a really nice lead up in the grass court season, and then for her to get taken out by Allison Risk, who once again, she was somebody who had a good lead up. She won a
Yes.
tournament coming up, so that was almost kind of like a bad draw.
Well, and we flagged that too because that was one of those first round popcorn matches that we talked about because we were like, Becca's better watch out for Risk because she's flying high with confidence right now. And sure enough, Ali Risk was like, "Bitch, move! I'm about scared of you."
Well, and I tell you, the other thing about that section of the draw is that the last match that Risk won before she before she's now matched up to play Barty, so the party is going to end for her. But she took out Bencic in the round before, and
boy,
that's a huge win.
That's a huge scalp right there, brother, because I think both of us kind of had Bencic making it to see Barty because, again, riding on confidence, she had great results on grass. So just assume that, she was going to get it done and make it there. And it wasn't like it was a gimme match. That was a tough match that Ali Risk had to pull out. So kudos once again to you, Ali Risk. We are very proud of you. So great job.
But what has to be the biggest surprise in that quarter was when Angelique Kerber, who is the defending champion, went out in the second round to Lauren Davis.
What is that about? I didn't see that coming whatsoever.
Apparently, Kerber didn't either.
Right? Because, but you know what? Angie tends to have issues with other counter punchers. She's so good at counter punching that I think when she plays other people that can kind of get her stuff back and makes her or forces her to be more aggressive, I just think she struggles. And that's what Lauren Davis apparently did to her. She was just like, I'm going to play that game that you play, and I'm just going to play it better on the day. And that's what she did. And she got that W. And honestly, being a Queen Serena fan, I was not mad at it because if you remember from the last episode, I had Kerber actually playing and beating Serena.
We know you did. I'm sorry.
Hater. Because, again, Kerber against Serena, Kerber likes that matchup. Because Serena's the one being the more aggressive. She's the one that, you got a Lauren Davis that can hustle, gets around the court, go get all these balls back. I think that's just a bad matchup. And Lauren was like, hey, I'm going to capitalize on my opportunity. So she went out there and stole that match. So good on you, Lauren Davis.
Well, I tell you, we can't get out of this quarter without mentioning the punk move that Maria Sharapova did. Now, for listeners, there's kind of unofficial, informal etiquette in tennis. And most players, if they get injured in a match and they're close enough to the end where they can still allow the other person to win versus getting it over retirement, even if they just have to just be out there on the court, that's what they typically do, right?
Exactly.
But what Sharapova did, and I can't remember when in the match exactly she got hurt, but she quit when she was down love 5.
Right, in the third set.
And that was a pump move. And don't come in the press conference afterwards talking about, well, I'm not going to keep playing to hurt myself. It just showed to us Sharapova is who we always thought she was. And, so that was good for her that she lost in the first round.
Yeah, that was a bad move. I mean, simply put, if you are down 5-love, you go ahead and you get out there and you let them get them last 4 points and get the W.
Yes.
You do not retire at 5-0. If you were going to retire at 1-love, 2-love. You don't retire at 5-love. You go on ahead and you let your opponent get the victory. Because you stayed out there that long. You could stay out there for 4 more points.
Right.
Simply stated. So, Maria, that's bad on you. Shame on you. You shouldn't do that.
Go eat some Sharapova cookies or candy or whatever she's selling these days. Anyway.
Yeah. So that is that quarter. Anything else on the bottom half of that side of the draw that you saw, Bryce? Anything that lit up for you?
Well, honestly, the bottom half of the draw is matching up exactly the way I thought it would, with one exception.
Okay.
And that is, I thought Kiki Bertens would be in the quarters or be in a position to enter the quarters. And she's not. The fact that Mertens, Konta, and Kvitova are the other three currently in the fourth round in the bottom, those are the people that I picked. I do want to give two kind of notes, though, in this section.
Okay.
Number one, shout out to our girl, Taylor Townsend.
Taylor!
Yes, first of all, she played a really good match in the first round, and she beat Rodianova.
Yep.
And beat her in straight sets, like 6-2, 6-3.
Yes.
Very solid performance. Very happy for her.
Yes.
And she broke my heart in the next round because she had a... Did she have a match point on Kiki Burton?
Points.
Oh.
It hurt my heart. I was like, and Bryce, she pulled her out wide. Kiki got the ball back. All she had to do was hit a nice little drop shot into the court. Literally. All kinds of court open. Match point. She hit it wide. She lost that match point and unfortunately ended up losing second set and losing the match. It was heartbreaking. So that one is going to sting for Taylor.
But you know what? I really hope, though, it's a motivator.
I hope
that
so
she can see, like, with a Kiki Burton's, I was one dumb shot away.
Exactly. From having that W.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I definitely wanted to highlight her. And so good on you, Taylor. And we hope that, this turns into even better results, moving forward.
Absolutely.
I want to once again remind the listeners that Anisimova lost in the second round. Right. 17-year-old American who was all the buzz in the French Open, made it to the semifinals.
Right.
Another example of these young players need time to develop.
It's okay.
I hope nobody's brokenhearted that they were thinking Anisimova was going to go and be in the finals of Wimbledon now.
Right. No, she is a young player, a very good player, very bright future. There is nothing wrong with this loss, nothing wrong with it at all. So, Anisimova, you keep doing your thing, keep staying positive, and keep fighting and keep practicing because your star is bright. So, I did not see that as being a bad loss whatsoever. And so folks, don't put pressure on these young kids, man. Let them do their thing.
Right, but I can't get out of this quarter without. You talking about somebody that got Sloane Stephens singing some Ghetto Boys right now? Talking about my mind's playing tricks on me. Joanna Konta is not scared of Sloane Stephens.
She was like, I ain't scared of you, sister, whatsoever. They have played 4 times in 2019, and Joanna Konta is 4-0. She's like, Sloane, anybody scared of you, girl? I tell you, Bryce, though, I have to say, that was a good match.
It was
Sloane
a good match.
Actually, because remember, I was kind of on Sloane. I was like, you need to be more aggressive. You need to, you can't be just out there trying to counterpunch on grass.
Right.
She actually came out that first set and she was swinging. She was swinging well, and she ended up taking that first set. And she was doing well in the second set. And I don't know exactly what happened, but it just seemed like Joanna Konta was just kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this. I'm about to put the things on you.
Yeah.
And she started swinging harder, and I guess Sloane just couldn't quite keep up with the pace, or I don't know, maybe she may have reverted a little bit back into that defensiveness, but all I know is Joanna Konta was just like, after she took that second set, she was like, guess what?
The Konta bakery is
hungry. I got some bread for you. Yes, I do.
Gave Sloane that breadstick in the third set. And
just me. And Sloane was not happy about it either, because that handshake after that, it wasn't a bad handshake, but you could tell she was like, bitch, I hate you.
Look, Sloane, go ahead and start preparing for your wedding or whatever. But,
That's all right, Sloane. You about to get back on the hard courts, and that's where you shine. That's where you can really get your game right. So go and get married, get your mind right, and get yourself ready for this next half of the year. Because regardless of us clowning on you, I absolutely love you, love your game, and want you to do big things this fall. So let's come on with it, and hopefully you can figure out the Joe Konta riddle and put some things back on her come this fall. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So with that, how about that other side of the draw, Bryce? So we've got that one Buster quarter, and it is the Buster quarter with Svitolina, Pliskova, I mean, anything in there that kind of struck you or that you saw as being interesting?
Yeah, a couple of things.
Okay.
The first thing I saw is, wasn't it your prediction that
God, I hate you. God, I hate you.
that somebody in the top 10 that definitely wasn't going to win was Svitolina? And you know what? I'm clowning you a little bit,
Yeah.
but honestly, when you said that, I felt the same way.
Yeah.
I could have picked her too, even though I didn't. And but she has been getting the job done.
She's been getting the job done, dude. She's playing good tennis, man. She's playing good. She ended up getting, a little bit of a retirement, which is all good, and into the third round. But she played a great match against Sakari, which is never an easy out because I like Sakari's game a lot.
Me too.
So yeah, she did pretty good, and I'm just gonna go ahead and jump out here because I know you're gonna clown, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this one out the way too. Yes, I did pick Ostapenko. Yes, I did. And Shea Suwei was like, you know what? Anybody scared of that heifer? Shea Suwei was like, you look hungry. I'm going to give you a couple of whole biscuits. Get on out of here, girl. I mean, that is shameful, Bryce. That is shameful. Come on. How you going to be the French Open champion and get 2 whole biscuits, don't you?
That's Ostapenko, and that's what I expected from her. Actually, even though she, but here's the thing: what I did know, we knew that she had retired in a lead up tournament to Wimbledon. So I don't know if there were any after effects going on.
She may not have been 100%, but in true form, though, we should have actually seen this. I actually should have seen this only because Shea Suwei ain't no joke.
No joke.
Shea Suwei is tricky. She got that tricky game, especially on the grass court.
Yep.
So shame on me for actually even pushing that one that far. So kudos to Shea Suwei.
Right.
I actually like her game a lot.
Well, and props to your girl Danielle Collins because she had a really nice win over Sevastova.
Yes, she did. Yeah, very good. Made it to the third round. Couldn't quite get past Petra Martic, but gone out in 3. That's a very decent showing. So good on you, Danielle. I know that hard courts is more your thing anyway. So look forward to seeing that game as we get into the fall season.
Right.
Yeah.
And just like we talked about Anisimova, in this section we had Vondrousova.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And she was, listeners, if you'll remember, she was in the French Open final just a couple weeks ago, and she took an L to Bringle in the first round, and just like I said, let these youngsters develop.
That's right.
I know she's not feeling great about going from the finals to losing in the first round, but hey, that's what happens at this stage of your career.
Exactly.
But other than that, I think this quarter pretty much stayed to form because it was such a busted quarter.
Exactly. So you've got Pliskova in there, Svitolina's up in there. So I mean, that's all good. Right. How about that last quarter though, Bryce? That was the monster quarter that we talked about, which honestly, you talk about has skimmed out. My God.
Well, let me start off with 2 people that I told you was going to skim out, and the first one we're going to start with is your girl, Naomi Osaka.
Oh, Jesus.
Putintseva was like, you know what? I don't know how many times I got to prove to these tournament organizers for them not to put you in my section. Because it's good night for you. I mean, she beat her in straight sets.
Oh, Bryce. Putintseva is, to me, the definition of having a jar of Vaseline ready and available at all times against Naomi Osaka. She was like, ain't nobody scared of you. We about to go in here and get our scrap on.
Right.
And you're not going to be ready for what I'm bringing to you. She is, I'm sorry, she ain't scared of Naomi. She like, yes, put her in my side of the draw.
Right.
I don't even care where we at. Put her there because I'm all up in her mental.
Right. I mean, broke her spirit to where she couldn't even do a press conference.
She's just like, no. I'm out, y'all. No. I ain't talking to y'all.
Right.
That's just bad, man.
I know. I know Sasha is like, I didn't mean to say I told you so, but
Bryce, and I don't mean to comment on this, and because I love me some Naomi Osaka, but in truth, her results have to me it's a direct correlation.
Oh yeah.
When Sasha left the camp,
Mm-hmm.
her results started getting a lot more erratic.
Exactly.
And impractical.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Sasha worked with Serena Williams. He knows that champion's mentality, ethic. He knows all of that.
Mm-hmm.
He was pushing that. Yep. And Naomi basically was like, I don't want that. I can't handle that. Mm-hmm. Whatever the case may be.
Right.
But she let him go. You are now seeing the results of that.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I just really wish that she had enough wherewithal to be able to fight through that,
right,
and keep him on and just work through it. Because like I said, she will rebound because she'll get back to her surface that she's more comfortable with. Mm-hmm. But I do not believe, I just question whether or not she's going to really be able to be at that top level because of Sasha. Because I think Sasha just brought that champion's coaching style.
Right.
And he knew it. He lived it. He was in that camp for what? Almost a decade. Yep. He was with Serena a long time.
Yep.
You don't give that something like that up. You just don't. And so I hate to be so judgmental, but it's disappointing for me with Osaka because I'm such a big fan of hers. But regardless, she's done at Wimbledon. She probably don't want to see no more grass ever.
Right. No, who she don't want to see no more of is Putin. That's who she don't want to see no more of.
I would love to see them on hardcore, though. I need to see that battle to see if she's going to be able to come back and get some revenge.
Yeah, because this is the whole Joanna Conta,
this is
Stevens
mental.
type thing,
this is
right?
Mental in my eyes. So that one will be interesting to see.
And then another loss in that quarter, which I'm trying to tell y'all gonna recognize I don't have nothing against these folks. I'm only telling you what I see. And that is Madison Keys ain't never gonna win nothing until she get that head right.
That's right.
And there's once again no reason why she shouldn't have she should have lost her dog.
Exactly.
No reason at all.
I go back to what I had said before. Again, thinking about Naomi with Sasha. Same thing with Madison Keys, and in my opinion, Lindsay Davenport. When that whole thing broke up, I just feel like, and it wasn't a negative breakup like the Osaka-Sasha was, but I just feel like she needed someone like a Lindsay in her coaching box to really be able to lead her to more consistent, better results. And without having Lindsay there, it to me just feels like Keys is very susceptible to an L, and that's what we saw in that match against Herkoff.
Mm-hmm. We did. And
disappointing.
But not surprising. Right.
Yeah.
So, now I just want to call out a couple of first round surprises, if you will.
Yeah.
First one would be Sabalenka. Yes. This time last year, she was beating the skunk off of people, right?
Exactly.
And this year, I don't know if she just hasn't had the same level of success. So.
I think it might just be that sophomore slump. I still actually believe in her. I think that grass may not be her surface yet. I do think that with all her power, she should do better on this surface. So I feel like she might be kind of like what we were talking about with your Tsitsipas and those other ones. She just needs a little bit of time to develop that game. But overall, I see her being able to spank up on some folks in the next few years come grass season.
Right.
Just not right now. She's still young. Like you said, she's not as young as the teenagers. But she's still young enough in her career that she can make some big strides in the next few years. So. But yeah, that one did surprise me.
That was a little surprising, as well as Caroline Garcia losing in the first round. Yeah. Now, I know she's French and all that, but I know the French like bagels and all, but she took that 6-4, 6-love from Zhang.
That was very, very surprising for me. Of course, as you know, I had predicted her to go far in my draw.
I do remember that.
Thank you very much. So, y'all, my predictions were just awful for this Wimbledon. Let's just call it what it is. But that's all right. I still believe in Caroline Garcia. I think she has a fantastic game. I don't know what exactly happened to her on the day, but yeah, she apparently looked hungry and needed to eat. So Zhang was like, I can oblige you. So here's your bagel. Yes, cinnamon.
Now, I have to fess up. In my draw,
yeah,
I had Sophia or Sonia. I don't know what she wanted to be called. Kenin.
Yeah.
I had her going far, but she ended up losing in the second round to Yastrzemska.
Yeah. Yastrzemska's got a good game, a real strong game, and she's showing that because I mean she's made it now to the fourth round. So she's another young talent that's just bringing some good stuff to the court. So good on her for getting those W's, man. At a big stage like Wimbledon, can't be mad at that whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah. But Bryce, we got to go on ahead and get to the big one. We got to get to the one because it's mania right now. And that first round matchup with Venus Williams against Coco Gauff.
Yep.
Folks, I told y'all I didn't want to see that matchup. I didn't want to see it, but I had to watch it.
Yep.
Had to, because you got to support the sisters.
Right.
And I'm trying to tell you, I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked because Coco Gauff went out there and she was like, Venus, I love you. And yeah, you my idol, but bitch, I ain't scared of you.
Right.
I ain't scared of you.
Right.
And my parents done brought me up right. I'm going to tell you what, Bryce. I love Corey and Candy Gauff. I love them parents. Ooh, I love them parents.
Me too.
Ooh, I love them. Because they got a good head on their shoulders and they are raising just a fantastic young lady. Right. And I just love this entire story.
Right.
It was so disappointing to me that she had to, take it out on Venus. But she did. And she was just like, oh my God. And to me, I still get chills when the handshake and when she was just telling Venus how much of an inspiration she was. It just made me feel good, man. It made me feel good. How did that match? What did that mean to you?
Well, you know what, Isaac, and I'm not sure where all of our listeners are in terms of understanding the story. But
Good point.
I want to give a little background. So this Coco Gauff that we're talking about, she is a 15-year-old African-American, and I guess it's appropriate to use the word girl.
Yes.
In this case. Now, she's one of these prodigies that I think I first heard about her when she was 10.
Yes,
right?
Same here. Yep.
And, she has the absolute perfect supporting cast around her. Not only does she have the physical build at 15 to compete, not only does she clearly have that almost like Serena type competitive drive, she has two ex-athlete parents that are all in behind her. And they seem just like awesome people.
Yes.
She is with the same management team as Roger Federer and has already nailed an endorsement that he has with that Barilla Pasta Company. Right?
Yeah.
So you can't do much better from an agency standpoint.
Right.
She has come up in the Monteglu Tennis Academy, which is Serena's.
Coach.
Right?
Yep.
So from a coaching standpoint, she's got the best background.
Yes.
And when it came to the 2019 Wimbledon, once again, before tournaments start, you have people that are not ranked high enough to get directly into the main draw. So they save a couple of spots for what they call qualifiers. Right. And what they do is they typically have a pre-tournament. And based upon the number of qualified positions they have in the main draw, depends on how many people they take from the results of the qualifying tournament.
Yep.
Coco Gauff wasn't even in line to get into the qualifying tournament. They gave her a wild card to just get in the qualifying tournament.
Right.
She got in there. She got matched up with the number one seed in the first round. She beat her in straight sets.
Yes.
She beat whoever in the second round.
Yep.
And in the third and final round, whoever that chick was she played, she gave her two breadsticks.
Yeah, she was like, you need to move out the way because I got a spot in the main draw that I'm trying to get.
Right.
Cystic move.
So before we even get to her playing Venus in the first round, she's already surpassed expectations by winning all the way through in a dominant fashion in the qualifying tournament.
Correct.
So then, if you'll remember in the last episode, the preview episode, Isaac and I were so brokenhearted to see that Venus was drawn to match up with Coco Gauff in the first round.
Yes.
I think we both felt that, Coco may go out there and do her thing, but the experience of Venus Williams at Wimbledon particularly, that she would pull it out. We know Venus, she was going to make it dramatic, and it probably wasn't going to be a straight set win.
Right.
But nonetheless, we kind of felt like she was going to pull it out.
Right.
And my goodness, that girl, Coco Gauff, she got out there and she had more fight in her than I thought she had.
Yes, she did.
And I liked when she said before the match, it was a dream to her. She was so excited just to play Venus, but she thought that winning would she'd like even more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this has happened probably in each one of the matches Coco has played.
Yes.
The pressure is not on Coco.
No.
She's already gone well beyond what she was expected to do.
Absolutely.
The pressure is on the veterans.
Yes.
Because they're expected to win. And here's this person that they've kind of been watching on the side courts, but they really don't know how to play her.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of pressure there. And I think that pressure did get to Venus. It definitely got to the person that she played in the last round, which was that, what was her name?
Herzog.
Yeah, Herzog. Because her game, very interesting. I mean, she came out trying to do all the slicing and dicing. And it just goes to how incredible of a competitor that Coco Gauff is. Because she got frustrated. She didn't know what to do. Old girl was slicing and dicing and bringing this weird game to her. But you know what she did, Bryce? She figured it out. She worked on the fly. And this is, to me, why I do not like, and we'll treat this for another episode, I do not like coaching. I don't like when people can get coached. Because to me, that is a prime example of where you have a champion who figures it out.
Right.
She was down. She didn't know how to play her. She was like, what am I doing? Okay, let me level set. Let me figure this out. And that's what she did. And that, to me, is what is so amazing. 15 years old, to be able to be in the middle of a match and be down and be able to figure out, okay, I need to change up my game style so I can win, so I can get up on her. And that's exactly what she did.
And one of the things she did that she changed, which I was glad because I think she received some bad coaching on this, is she was going to the slice way too much in the beginning.
Yes.
Now, the backhand slices made sense to me because they were kind of trading those.
Yes.
Coco Gauff should not be hitting any forehand slices out there.
No.
That was horrible coaching. Her game is to drive through the ball, and her forehand is already kind of suspect a little bit, right? You don't need to be confusing that with having her slice forehand.
Correct.
So while I thought it was a good move for her to be able to trade slice backhands, I was getting very frustrated for her. And if you notice, when she started turning things around, she started hitting through the ball.
Exactly.
Right. And so I was really, really impressed to see her make that change.
Just incredible in my mind. Just overall, that's a champion's mentality there. Being able to figure something out and implement it.
Yep.
She did both of those things in that match and got that W. And Bryce, I don't know about you, I had chills when when they got to match point and she won that thing.
Yes.
When they showed I don't know what you want to call it, Hinman Hill, Murray Hill, and you saw them folks, they went bonkers,
They went crazy.
They were hugging and falling on each other. I got my giggle on. I had chills, dude. And like in some of the tweets that she has gotten, she said she got tweets from Tina Knowles, Beyonce Mama. She got a tweet from Michelle Obama. You better not trip.
Right.
You better not trip.
Right.
There's some good stuff going on here, folks.
This actually reminds me a lot of when Venus came on the scene.
Agreed.
It reminds me a whole bunch of when Venus came on the scene. Now, unfortunately, I fully expect for her to get jollywopped by Simona Halep in the next round. And let me tell you what, this is not me trying to be supportive of Coco Gauff, but when you talk about solid people at the top of the game, Halep is one. I mean, I may not be a huge fan of hers, but her game is extremely solid.
Her game is tight. Yeah.
And I think Coco will have to be on her A+++ game just to have a chance to win. And I don't see her, if she loses to Halep, as being a bad thing at all. The fact that she's made it to the fourth round of Wimbledon, nobody would have predicted this before the tournament, right? So she's already had a successful run. I just want her to go out there, have fun. maybe Simona will be off that day. Maybe Simona will be a little nervous about playing somebody so young.
I was about to say, I'm actually picking the upset because
Are you really?
I think that Simona, even though they did an interview and Darren Cahill was like, oh, she's going to thrive and blah, blah, blah. We have seen Simona be very mentally fragile in the past.
We have.
I just feel like playing a 15-year-old who is extremely solid, if Coco brings the same game and the same mindset that she brought against Venus, whoever she played in the second round, and against Hercott, I absolutely feel like the nerves are going to get to Halep, and she is going to take that L. I am picking Gauff to win this.
Really?
Match. I am picking Gauff.
The reason why I'm picking Halep is because the three people that Gauff has played are all players that give a bunch of unforced errors.
Right.
And she has benefited a lot from that. I don't know. Now, granted, if Halep is off her game, then it could be the same situation. This is where I think the Halep match will be different. I think Halep will be steady enough. I think Halep will break down that forehand. And probably more importantly, Halep now has 3 matches at Wimbledon on tape of watching.
Right.
So it shouldn't at this point be no surprise about what she's bringing to the table.
Right.
Now, let me be very clear. I want Gauff to win.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, honestly, behind Serena,
yeah,
I want Gauff to win the whole thing second, right?
Absolutely.
And then I have Barty third.
Yes.
Gauff sneaked in there between Barty
and Serena. There you go.
That's just we'll see.
I got you. No, I see what you're saying. I just feel like that pressure, that because to me, Coco Gauff is British. I mean, the love that she is getting from the British fans is inspiring. It is just, like I said, it gives me chills. When she won and I saw just how those folks reacted, they love some Coco Gauff. And to me, I just feel like that's an intangible. It's kind of like the Seattle Seahawks in the 12th man. You know how they get kind of crazy.
Right.
I just feel like the British crowd are going to be so in support of her that it's going to throw Simona off. And mind you, this ain't her best surface either.
It isn't. You're correct.
I just feel like there's just these little intangibles that are going to make for a great upset. So I know, man, crazy, man. That's why I'm loving this Wimbledon, dude.
I'm telling you what,
it's so good.
I cannot wait tomorrow to just wake up and plant myself in front of the TV and have my popcorn, and watch all the jolly whopping going on all day long.
Yes. So Bryce, we've gone through our ladies. What are some of the predictions that you have?
Okay, so quarterfinals.
Yeah.
I'm predicting, if we're starting at the top, that we're going to get what we've been looking at from day one.
Yes.
I think we're going to have Barty against Serena.
Well, at least you were looking at that because I had picked Kerber. But anyway, sorry, Serena, I'll never doubt you.
No shade. I forgot about that. And then at the bottom of the top half, I have Mertens against Konta.
Nice. Okay, so I have 3 of the 4. I have Barty against Serena, and I actually have Mertens against Kvitova. I love me some Gianna Konta, but Kvitova is not to be messed with on her ass. That woman can swing. She got 2 Wimbledon championships, and it's going to take a lot for Konta to get past Kvitova. I do not see that happening. While she can spank up on Sloane all day and night, Kvitova going to be like, nah, have fun. I am not Sloane Stephens. I am not Chocolate City. I am the real deal. I got a couple of these, so you're going to really have to bring it. I just think she's going to show up a little bit short. I see 3 sets, but I see Kvitova coming out.
Okay.
How about that bottom half, brother?
Bottom half, I'll start off with the person who you think is not going to do anything, Svitolina. I think she'll be in the quarters against Pliskova.
Yes.
And then Halep, because I have her beating Gauff.
Yeah.
Against Yastremska.
Gotcha. Yeah. I have gyms. I'm back on the gyms wagon.
Gyms, all right.
So I got Svitolina versus Pliskova. I do feel like that's going to happen. Again, I think Coco Gauff and I think Yastremska. And I think Coco is going to make some things happen.
Oh, all right.
I do.
So if we round it out, I think the semifinals will be Serena versus Konta and Pliskova versus Halep.
Gotcha.
And then I think the finals will be Serena versus Pliskova.
Okay.
and I have Serena finally tying Margaret Court for 24.
Gotcha. Nice. Okay.
What you thinking?
Well, of course, I see Serena getting to the semis, and I see her battling Kvitova. And I do see her, of course, getting past Kvitova. On the other side, I see Pliskova versus Gauff.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know. But I do feel like at that point, that's where the story will likely end. And I do think that Pliskova will make the final. It would be Serena against Pliskova, and I see Serena taking number 24.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. Coco, if you can go further, please do so.
Well, that was a really nice review of the men's and the women's draw. And I know we typically don't talk a lot about doubles, but I wanted to specifically bring up the mixed doubles draw.
Gotta do it.
Because we have both of our queens playing in there. So if you haven't been keeping up, listeners, in the mixed doubles draw, we have Sir Andy Murray, although not playing in singles, and although no longer in doubles. Right, no longer in the men's doubles.
I know Mahout's smiling. Anyway.
He's playing with Serena Williams, and they looked really good yesterday.
Ooh, boy. Apparently their opponents needed to get fed, and you don't typically feed folks in doubles or mixed doubles. So they were like, yeah, take this breadstick and get on out.
Exactly.
Get out.
And we also have the soul team of Venus Williams and Frances Tiafoe playing together, and they looked really good in their first round match.
They did. Apparently, Serena was like, look, Tiafoe, I ain't gonna play with you no more because, you didn't get that Hotman Cup right, but Venus was like, I got you back. I got your back, so
I'll pass you on to Venus.
Exactly, I'll pass you on. So go and get it with the system.
And, the only thing that I think we're looking for in this draw is they have a potential of those two teams meeting in the semifinals.
Right.
So we're hoping that happens. May the best team win, and one of them makes it to the finals.
Absolutely. We want them to just go far and do their thing because, love the fact that Andy Murray is back. Love the fact that, again, Tiafoe and Venus are playing together. Sister brothers. I mean, come on now. You can't help but support that. So,
and let's not forget that we had another kind of soul team. It had a little more cream in the coffee, but we had Coco Gauff playing with Jay Clark.
That's right. Jay Clark. What's up, dog?
Yeah. So but they took that L in the first round. So
that was disappointing. I'm still kind of happy for Gauff because I do want her to focus on those singles.
Right.
But Jay Clark and mind you, we need to just give a shout out to him as well because he played Roger Federer very nice.
He did.
Very nice match.
Good job, Jay.
That's right, Jay. Keep it up, brother. We got your back.
So,
yeah.
Well, anyway, I think, the first week has been a great week. Tomorrow, Manic Monday is going to be insane.
Just another Manic Monday.
All right, Prince. But we're going to come back at you next week with a review of the final results.
Yes.
Of the French Open, and we're going to reintroduce our hot topics. We got a couple of things we're anxious to talk to you about.
They'll be good, y'all.
But until then, we want to continue to remind you that we'd love for you to join our online family. You can find us just about anywhere. Our handle is Bruthas on Tennis, and that's spelled Bruthas on Tennis. And I don't care whether you go to iTunes, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Google Play, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud. You'll find us there.
We are there.
and don't just go there.
That's right.
Don't just listen to the episodes. Help us out and build our following. Like us, follow us. Even more importantly, if you can take just a few minutes to write a quick review, that really helps us a whole bunch.
Absolutely. So please do, folks.
So with that, enjoy the tennis next week. Signing off, this is your boy Bryce.
Hey, this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Bruthas on Tennis. Have a good one, everyone.